going to smoke meth with some random people, strangers. I fell down a flight of stairs and broke my 2 front teeth out. And I would put myself in horrible situations and bad shit would happen. But I didn't care about myself enough to want to stop that. I've been beaten down many times in life, but I always get back up and I always keep fighting. I believe, at the end it'll be a victory.
This podcast is sponsored by Toast. Toast beverages are alcohol-free sparkling beverages made with all natural ingredients, including white tea, white cranberry, and ginger. Crafted by a team of culinary experts, Toast imparts the characteristics often found in alcoholic beverages, only without the alcohol. Equally as satisfying as a daily refreshment as it is paired with fine dining, Toast creates meaningful and refreshing drinking experiences that are perfect for every occasion. Whether it's a large gathering or a celebration at home, Toast can be enjoyed anytime, anywhere, by anyone. Welcome to Comeback Kid. We are here with Ryan Jackson, and I'm so excited that you're here. Thank you.
Me too. Thank you for having me. Yeah. This is my first podcast.
Hell yeah.
Oh, now you're popping my cherry.
So let's talk about sobriety. What was your journey like? When did you start? What was it like before you came in? What's it been like since you've come in?
I guess I would start with I've been sober for 7 years now. My sobriety date is October 6th, 2018.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So it kind of just happened, 7 years. Yeah, it was a crazy journey to get here for sure. I started drinking heavily, maybe college was like the time because it was like the atmosphere. I went to UCLA and it was very much the vibe of like we party, we get wasted, we black out, and then we do it all over again. And I really loved that because it was like, I feel like I was finally able to like escape from like my like fears. I was always afraid of everyone and what they were thinking of me. I was afraid of the responsibilities I had. I was afraid of my future. So like when I was drunk, I was present and I was like having a great time. And I felt like I was like the funny guy. I was the party guy.
Yeah.
And everyone loved me. So it was like, whoa, like this is what I love. So I held on to that for 10 more years of just like drinking until I was blacked out and like trying to be the fun party guy, but then it would always just end up being like the messy drunk who's like getting into trouble.
Was there a time when you were the party guy and then it kind of just shifted? Like, do you remember that moment where you were like, oh, this is not fun anymore?
Well, the thing is, it's like, there's always that like, it's fun until it's not. But like, I truly, when I was drinking, it was constant consequences, like I was seeing them early on, but I still did it anyway. Like not to get so dark and deep, but
That's what we're here for.
We're here for the dark stories. But like early on, like in my drinking, like in college, like my freshman year, and in my freshman year, I believe it was, I got wasted like normal. Yeah. And later that night I was raped by a man I had no idea who he it was a big consequence to wake up in the morning and realizing like, oh wait, and like 1, fuck him for doing that, but 2, fuck me for like putting myself in that situation. I was wasted, I was blacked out. I willingly got into a car of a stranger to like get a ride to Subway because that was like my MO was like I would get drunk, go to Subway that's in Westwood Village and eat a footlong and then go back home and go to sleep in my dorm. So like that night I was like, I don't want to walk all the way. Like, let me see if I can hitchhike. I was so naive, I was like 18, 19 and I was just like, the world's fine. The world's a good place. And then, this guy picked me up and we did not go to Subway. He took me somewhere else and then dropped me back off at my dorm. And that was early on in my drinking. And I still chose to to make it fun in my head. It was like, oh, that was crazy. I can't believe that happened. Okay, on to the next. And then I would drink and party, and then something bad would happen. I fell down a flight of stairs and broke my 2 front teeth out in my freshman year of college. Like, this is all the starting of my crazy drinking, and I still kept going. So there's always been a kind of balance of I'm having so much fun, and then it's going to end up in a consequence. And it's been like that for like my whole time. But I just was so focused on the fun part that I was okay with the consequences.
Mm-hmm.
And I think also it kind of goes back to is like me, I've always felt like unworthy and kind of like I don't matter. Whatever happens to me doesn't matter. I was never like the angry drunk or like, getting into fights. People weren't like hating me when I was drunk. They loved me when I was drunk. But it was what I did to myself that was the issue. And I would put myself in horrible situations, and I would just, bad shit would happen. But I didn't care about myself enough to want to stop that. It was like, well, at least I'm having fun most of the time, and then it just ends up like this because that's just what happens to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's tough because there is a point where it's like I've always had those consequences when drinking, but I think the big shift in my alcohol and drug use, because I was always like partying with like Coke and Molly and all like the party drugs. But I think the big shift in me, which is something like a lot of people don't know, is that like in my mid-20s, I started smoking meth. And that was a big shock to my system because like I was someone where I was like, I would never do that. I remember my uncle, when I came out to my uncle when I was 15 years old, he was just like, and he's a gay man, so he's well versed in the world of the community.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember him telling me like, just promise me you won't smoke meth. And I was like, duh. Like that's for like literally for like people in the street or people from Florida. Like that's it. Like there's no in between. So I was like, I went to college. Like there's no way I'm going to be doing that. So when I did do it, it was like, oh, like that just happened out of nowhere. Like this guy just offered it to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's very popular in the gay community, even the male gay, just like sex life.
Mm-hmm.
It's like huge. So like I found myself kind of spiraling into that into my mid 20s. I'd go long breaks without doing it. So I thought like, it's not a problem because I'm going like, used to be like a year, then it went down to a couple months or like several months. And then it went down a couple months of usage.
Yeah.
And then finally I was like, wait, I'm doing this a lot. Like every other month I'm going to smoke meth with some random people, strangers, and doing things I didn't want to do and being places I don't want to be. So I think that really was the shock to my system was like, fuck, I don't want to be a meth addict. And I saw the path where I was going. And in that moment, I remember October 6th, I was giving myself a test, like I think many of us have done, of like, okay, I'm going out tonight. I'm going to this party.
Right. If I can do this.
If I can do this and this and this, then
Yeah.
I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to this party. There's going to be free wine. I can only have one glass of wine. Like, I'm going to do it. So then I go to the party and I have the one glass. I'm like, well, it's free wine. So let me have like another
Right.
glass. Like, that's like stupid.
There's
That's
always
a
a
waste.
reason. Yeah.
Always a reason. And I'm like, I'm feeling good. I was like on a date with this guy. Like, I brought him to this party. And I'm feeling good. And like, I'm like, let's have a third glass. And, I keep going. And at like some point in the night, he's like, okay, do you want to like go do something? And like, this guy's like, I'm on a date with this guy. And I get a text from my friend saying that they're at this party. And I'm like, oh, I'd rather go to the party. And he's like, okay, well, I'm going to go to sleep. And I'm like, okay, bye. And like, he goes home. I go to the party and I do lines of Coke and I'm just drinking, more and more. And it was just that same cycle.
Yeah.
And I was on my way home in a Lyft and I was having that thought of like, ooh, maybe I should smoke meth. Maybe I should go find it, smoke it, have sex with some random men.
Mm.
And and it always hit, that feeling always hit me when I was really drunk. When I was sober, I was never trying to smoke meth ever. I was just like, that's crazy. But once I had a drink in me and I kept going, there was a 50-50 chance that I was going to end up trying to smoke meth. So on this car ride home, I was thinking that. I'm like, oh, should I stay home? Should I go out? Should I do this? And I got dropped off at my apartment, and I sat at the stoop at my apartment, and I was thinking, and I was like, should I do it? Should I do it? And then, back then I didn't know what it was. Right now, I feel like it was God talking to me, the universe. But it was this moment of clarity that I never had before. That was like, wait, if you keep drinking, you're gonna keep doing this. Mm-hmm. This is a cycle. And I connected the meth use to my drinking, because it was always when I was drunk. So I was like, if I keep drinking, there's a 50-50 chance I'm gonna smoke meth. Yeah. So what can I do about that? And I remember I just started crying, sobbing. And I'm not a crier. I hold my shit in, and I always put on a mask that I'm okay, that I'm fine, everything's good, don't worry about me. But in that moment, I was sobbing out on the stoop, and I literally looked up to the sky and I cried out to God, and I said, God, please help me stop. I don't want to do this anymore.
Ooh, I just got chills. Yeah.
Before that moment, when I talked to God, it was always, please God, let me not get a STD. Like it was so like not serious, or like I thought it was serious at the moment. I'm like, I'll never do it again, Lord, please. I don't want an STD. And I'll be in the shower crying from like what I did the night before. Yeah. Like, oh no, please let me not. But I always end up doing it. But I think in this moment, it was one of those things where it was so real and so honest, and from the depths of my being. It wasn't fake. It wasn't like a pleading of, please God, if you do this, I'll do this. It was truly asking for help, which is, again, something I have trouble doing. I can't ask for help. Mm-hmm. So I think God heard me in that moment and was like, okay, this motherfucker's finally ready. Like, been through enough. Mm-hmm. So I just decided, I was like, okay, I'm going upstairs. I went upstairs, went to sleep. And that was the last time I drank or did any drug of any sort. And yeah, that was 7 years ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what was it like in the very beginning when you first started getting sober?
In the very beginning, it was tough because I was 28, I believe, was when that happened. And I still was like wanting to party. Like I still wanted to have fun. You know what I mean? Because like my biggest fear of getting sober was like, am I going to be boring now? Like this is what life is going to be like. I'm going to be like, sorry guys, I can't go out. I'm sober. You know?
I'm knitting.
I have to read this book next to the fireplace and pet my cat. So I'm
like, where's the lie?
Literally though, but like now, like that's what I do.
Amazing.
Instead of a cat, it's like my two dogs.
Yes,
and I'm like petting my dogs, like sitting on the couch, like loving life.
Yeah, me too.
But then I was like, that's not gonna be me. I'm gonna be the fun party sober guy. Mm-hmm. So like I kept all my friends, you know, all the friends that were still going out, like. I remember like one of my first months of being sober, like my friend, one of my best friends, who was like my partner in crime, she called me, and I think I got off work like super late, and she called me, she's wasted, and she's like, this guy just like kicked me out, and like, where are you? And I was like, I'm at home. She's like, okay, I'm almost there. I have a bottle of tequila. And I'm like, and I had to remind her, like, babe, I'm sober. I'm not drinking right now. Like, I think it was hard for me to say sober, but I was like, I'm not drinking right now. And she's like, oh, okay. And then just like went home. But it was just like, it was so embedded in my life to be the person that people are going to when they want to party. Yeah. You know, when you're going to get drunk and you're going to do any drugs, I was there. Yeah. So early on, it was hard to distance myself from that life because I was so used to it, of going out and dancing. So like every week I was still going out on weekends, just drinking Red Bull and like being like amped, you know? And I hated it because I would always feel like super anxious at the end of the night, but I still did it because I was like, I have to get out. I have to be able to do this. And I think there's pros and cons to that because like the pro is sure, I put myself in these probably like not smart situations because I was sober and everyone's doing coke around me and drinking. But the other part of it is like I am now very comfortable being anywhere with alcohol.
Sure.
Drugs, I'm like I've learned to be like to say no to being places around it.
Yeah.
Cuz like I don't need to be around anyone who's doing coke right now. Like now I'm 35. I'm not into that. I'm not going to be around that life. But like when I was 28, I was like they're doing like everyone's passing around coke and I'm like, yeah, I'll just watch. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, and it was New Year's Eve. I remember this exact moment. They're passing it around. I'm like, because I have to be here till New Year's Eve. Like it's New Year's Eve. So I'm waiting and I'm like, yeah. And I'm chilling and like everyone's talking and snorting and I'm like, okay. And I'm like sitting there by myself. Like I realize I'm not talking to anyone because they're all just so focused on the coke. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. And then I looked at the coke and I was like, I think I gotta go. And I left. And like that was like one of those moments of like when you feel uncomfortable, leave. So I learned that very early, which I'm very happy with. Because now it's like if I feel any form of being uncomfortable, if there is some kind of weirdness going on or people are too drunk, you know, I'm fine going home. I don't need to. I used to have to stay out till 2 a.m, still being sober. I had to stay up. But now it's like, I'm going to go home and pet my cat next to my fireplace and read my book. But yeah, so it was tough in that regard of just like, I was still around that life of partying, trying to be sober in the party life. And I think what helped was the program. AA helped me. I started going to meetings and actually meeting sober people. And that was really helpful because I didn't have anyone else sober in my life. Everyone drank, everyone did all the stuff. So like it was nice to meet other sober people and make actual connections that were like so deep and meaningful. Like our friend, I just literally, Jessica, I was like, it was 4 months in sobriety and I was like so down. I was feeling so down on myself. I was like, that pink cloud has gone away.
Yeah.
I was feeling like, wait, this is what life is? Like, I'm supposed to just raw dog it? Like, what? And I remember Jessica, our friend, sharing, and she was like, had the same feelings I had of feeling down, of feeling like, ugh, and we had the same amount of time. And it was very much in that moment, it was like, oh, let me just go talk to her. And from then on, it was like, oh, we're in this together, you know, in our beginning of our sobriety. And I found more people like that. And it was so helpful just to be like, wait, we can talk about the real shit that's going on, you know, what I'm really feeling, what I'm going through. And I feel like my friends are so amazing and I'm still friends with all of them from, you know, before getting sober. But there is a different kind of connection when it's someone who's sober. You know, it's like an instant kind of like, I get you, I feel you, and like I'm here for you.
Yeah.
And so that was really helpful to like get me through that first year because that first year was tough.
Right.
But having that support and then you know having sponsors and stuff like that really helped me get through that first year for sure. Yeah.
What would you recommend? Is there anything you would like say to yourself at that point, like 2, 3, 4 months in? That what would you recommend to somebody who's like going through it at that point in time?
I would say, I know this is hard to hear, but do not date anyone. You are not, your brain has not changed yet for you to choose the right kind of guy.
Right.
I was, you know, and like coming into AA and like, you know, being sober, my whole thought was like, once I'm sober, I'm going to have a career. I'm going to get married.
Right.
I'm going to
Like
have
day
all
two.
these things. Day 2. No, I thought it was going to be instant. I was like, I'm going to walk into a meeting and be like, what's up? And then I'm done. And like, that's life.
Yeah.
But that wasn't the case. And then, like, it's because like what I was doing was still in the same cycle of like when I was drinking. Because I wasn't healed. Just because I stopped drinking didn't mean I was, you know, healed or that I was thinking clearly. Like I was still in the same habits.
Yeah.
So I was still choosing the wrong people
Yeah.
to date and imprint on them from me that they are going to be my husband. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, now I'm sober. Like this isn't fucking around. This is like husband. I have to find a husband.
Yeah.
So like I would say, little sober Ryan at 28, calm down, focus on yourself, chill, and also it's okay to say no. Because I still didn't learn how to say no. I've never been able to say no before my sobriety. I was always a yes guy. And then in my early sobriety, I was still a yes guy. And I was still, you know, saying yes to doing all these things that I technically didn't want to do. But I was tricking myself into thinking like, oh, I want to do that. So I would tell myself like, it's okay to say no. And it's okay to like pass on plans and be yourself and like be by yourself.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay. Another thing, it's okay to be awkward. I feel like my whole thing with drinking was like, it didn't make me awkward. It didn't make me feel, I felt like I was like the king. And sober me, I was like, oh no, like I don't have that armor. You know what I mean? I don't have that like crown that's like, I'm the shit. Like I was like, oh no, I'm like awkward and like people are going to like judge me and stuff. And it's like so much that I know now, I'm like, if you only knew at 28, like you would not care. You would not give a shit. Just be yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like also that really resonates with me, all of that. Something I learned is like people don't care that much if you go to the party.
Literally,
like
no.
You think it's such a big deal if you say you can't go, or at least I used to be like, oh my God, what do I say? Or I would carry out all these plans to like make it seem like I was coming, or you know, oh no, my phone died.
Oh whoops! Oh no, I'm not feeling so well.
Yeah,
oh wait.
Yeah, people don't care.
They literally don't care.
Even if they're like, oh my God, please come out.
No,
it's
yeah,
like They don't. They're like drinking with other people.
They give you shit maybe like, oh, you weren't there. And then that's it.
Yeah, no one cares.
No one cares. You're not like, I feel like we all as humans think we're like the biggest part in everyone's story. But like we're not. Like we're literally, it's all in our heads. And like no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. So that's a good realization.
I love that.
Yeah.
I'm like, it frees me. I'm like, shit, wait, I don't have to care about y'all like thinking how I am. Like it's fine.
Right. And
Easy.
you are married now.
I am married now.
Can you tell me how you met your husband?
I found the right man.
Yeah.
Finally.
Congratulations.
Thank you. After many, 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 many years of kissing many men and trying to find the right one. Yeah, we met very old fashioned, very like typical love story on Tinder.
I met my partner online too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's like, how can we not? It's so much better. It's easier.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like on my profile, on my Tinder profile, I had sober. I was like, fuck it. Because like I remember I didn't have sober early on in my sobriety. And I would go on these dates and they're like, let's go to a bar and stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I don't drink. And then there's some guys who were like, oh, I can't. Like they would cancel the date because they were like, like I can't be with someone who doesn't drink. And I'm like, it's fine. So chill. Yeah. So I was like, I'm done with that. Like I'm putting sober in my profile so everyone just sees it.
Nice.
So I had it because I'm very much with my sobriety. I'm very open with it. I have it like all over my Instagram and like everything. Like I know a lot. It's up to each their own how they want to have their sobriety. But like I am very someone who like I need it to be out there. Like, sorry to like jump to another subject real quick, but I am someone like it's like I need the accountability of people knowing that I'm sober. Like that's why when I first got sober, I threw that shit online. Because I needed everyone to know that like this is what I was doing. So, and it helped me be like, okay, I'm doing it. Like it's real, you know? So when it came to Tinder, it was like a no-brainer, just like, oh, let me just throw sober on there. So, you know, went on dates and I've been on Tinder for years and it never worked out. I never had any faith in it at all. I was like, It's just for gay guys who are saying they want to date, but then we just hook up and then that's it. You know,
Yeah.
like because it used to be like Grindr is the only one for hooking up.
Right.
Tinder's the ones for dating. But like Tinder, it always ended up the same. You're just hooking up, and then it's just.
Yeah.
But before you went out to dinner to get to know each other,
Yeah.
and then you never see each other again. So anyway, so I lost a lot of faith of Tinder. So when I matched with my husband, it was actually beginning of COVID. I was adamant that I was going to move to New York. I was like, this is the time, because I've always thought I was going to like live in New York, move to New York at some point.
Mhm.
But there's always been stuff like I was going to go to New York, but then I got into UCLA, so I stayed at UCLA. I was going to go to New York, but then I got like an acting job, so I stayed in LA. Like there's always been something.
Yeah.
But I was like, this is it. This is the universe. Like it's COVID. There's nothing here. Like this is my time to go. So I was like looking at apartments. I was like doing all this stuff. And then we talk on Tinder a little bit. And I'm kind of like dismissive because in my head, I'm like, I'm leaving. There's no point. So I kind of say, shoo, shoo, whatever. But then I would say maybe like a couple weeks later, and there was no contact. Like it was that one conversation. That was it. And I looked up to God and I said, God, if I'm supposed to be in New York, can you give me a sign? Or if I'm supposed to be in New York or if I'm supposed to stay in LA, can you give me a sign? Like that same week, he messages me again. Good boy, knowing what he wants and like being like, wait, hey, what's up?
Mhm.
And we talked on there and I was like, and it was like a different kind of conversation. It was like, oh wait, there's something more to this. I was like, this is
Mhm.
kind of like I'm interested. So then we made a coffee date that same week. We went out to coffee, and because it was COVID, so we couldn't go inside anywhere. We could only have our COVID coffees and our masks on.
Right.
So we're outside and we had a 5-hour long date of just
Wow.
like talking, of really getting, and like it was like one of those things I've never felt that way before. Never had that experience where it was very much like we knew each other and it was like this like weird, everything matched up. And we had our first kiss with our masks because we were like when is this ever going to be a thing? Like you can have your first kiss like in a mask during a pandemic. So then we of course took off the masks and kissed, but and like risked it all. But yeah, it was like one of those things where it was just like, whoa, this is crazy. And then to add on to that is he's also sober. So he was early on in his sobriety, but he's had a more of a in and out journey in recovery. He's been to like, he's gone to rehabs, he's gone to like meetings and stuff like that, had little stints of it.
Mhm.
So like he, even though he was like, I think like 4 months sober or something, he's had time with sobriety. So I kind of
Right.
felt like it was a little different, and he's older than me. So I felt like I was in the clear. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not 13th stepping him.
Yeah.
But but yeah, he was sober, so we really connected in that. And like, and I'm so thankful because I thought after the few sober guys I dated in my early sobriety, I was like, I'm not dating another sober person. Like they're fucking crazy. They're nuts. I need to find a normie who can drink like a glass of wine and be okay. Cause I can't be with a partier because then I'll be jealous. But like I can be someone who just has a glass of wine and that's it. So I was pretty like sure about that. But then when he told me he was sober, I was like, I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like in my head, I literally was like, no,
Mm.
not another sober guy. Like, I don't know if I can do this. So thankfully, I continued doing it. I went on another date and then another, and we've been together for like, God, like over 5 years now.
Nice.
Married 1 year.
Yeah.
And I'm so thankful, and I'm so grateful he's sober because
Yeah.
I don't know what it would be like if I was with someone who wasn't sober, because I'm so used to it now. Like we know each other's vocabulary. We go to the same meetings. Like we have each other's support. We have our own sponsors. We have our own programs.
Right.
Keep that separate. But like it is really nice to have your partner like in the trenches with you, And I'm really grateful for that, because without that, I'm sure it would be tough, but a lot of people do it. So, teach their own.
Yeah.
I'm just happy he's sober.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a cute story of how you met.
It's a little,
Yeah,
little,
so
little
cute.
modern cute age story.
Yeah, exactly. So what are some like resources that you use for your mental health and sobriety? Like you said, you have a sponsor, you have
Mhm.
like a community of people that you connect with.
Yes, definitely sponsor is a big one. I was always against that. Not against it, but I was like weary of it because I was like, I don't want someone in like an authoritarian like position above me telling me what to do.
Right.
But it is I think important to find the right sponsor because
Hmm.
there's a lot of people I think that think like, oh, you get a sponsor, like that's it for life. And that wasn't my case. And the sponsor I have now, he's my third sponsor in my 7 years of being sober. And I love him. And he's so chill. And I need chill. Like I need someone who's like, I'm here. We'll go through the steps. We'll talk about what's going on. But like I can't have someone who's like, did you do this? Did you do that? Why aren't you calling everyone in their phone who's sober? Like I can't do that. I can't do it. So I was like, so I'm really happy with that. So it is very much like choose the right sponsor for you is what I tell people.
Yeah.
Just what you need, not
And
what you
switch if
want,
it's not
and
working.
switch if it's
Yeah,
not
I've had
working.
like 5 or 6.
Literally, it doesn't mean you're cemented in, you're married. And I thought that
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, like if I get a sponsor, that's it.
Yeah.
That's for life. And I'm like, no, like chill. It's like you can figure it out. So sponsor for sure. Community, sober people. Big thing outside of recovery is like therapy,
Hmm.
medication. And that's a
Mhm.
big thing, which is so crazy to me. But I know, I think it's different for everyone.
A big thing as in
Like medication, like
Yeah.
not being able to take medication.
Oh, people in recovery.
Sobriety. Yeah, in recovery being like, no, like that's
Oh.
a drug. And it's like, it's
Yeah.
kind of, I mean, like I've seen fights burst out into meetings because people are having
Really?
different
Huh.
opinions. And I'm like, sometimes our minds and like our bodies, like we're just not aligned on things and we just need this medication to help. And like with me, my sobriety revealed to me that I have depression. And I didn't know that about myself. I thought this weight that I had, this cloud over me was just like normal, that everyone felt this way.
Yeah.
And I was always distracting myself with drinking, doing drugs, partying, going out,
Right.
doing everything. So when I got sober, I was kind of like stuck in my thoughts and my feels. And then COVID happened and that like pushed me even more down into like, you have nothing to distract you. You are in your apartment looking at the walls. Like that's it. So I was like, I felt it even more.
Mm.
And so because of my sobriety, I was able to like focus on that and like get help. You know, I started going to therapy. I started taking medication for depression and it's helped so much. Like it's changed me. So like I need that shit. I need the medication. I need therapy. I've gone in and out of therapy several times, but now I'm back in it and I'm so thankful I went back in it because like I will tell myself over and over again, I'm fine. I'm chill. There's nothing wrong. I'm good. But like going to my therapist, like I went to my therapist yesterday and I'm always thinking like there's nothing to talk about. Like I'm so fine. Life is good. And then I'm like, and they're like, this is what happened. Like, oh my God. I'm like, I don't know what's wrong with me. And it's like, oh yeah, you need this. Like you do. So my resources for mental health would be therapy, medication, and the program. And I'm very lucky to have a wonderful, sweet husband and a great family and friends that are always there to hear me out. But I'm also always there to hear them out, which has been helpful. You know, it's like kind of acts of service of like helping others gets you out of your own head. It's funny because I was never that person when I was drinking. I was the person you did not go to for advice. And now my friends come to me for advice. They're like, you know, I've had multiple friends be like, I need to stop drinking. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I'm always there like, okay, this is what we need to do. Just one day at a time.
Yeah.
Let's figure this out. And that helps me.
Yeah.
Selfishly, that helps me get out of my head.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'm going to help this person.
Yeah.
So that's been really nice as well.
Totally. I think that's nice about we talked before about being open on social media and kind of having people know that you're
Exactly.
sober.
Exactly.
So then if they're having a moment or they start to have a realization, they know kind of who to come to.
Exactly.
Like I find that with this podcast and just putting myself out there as a sober person. And then I did have a relapse about a year and a half ago. But it was literally one night and it was like right back in.
That's impressive.
It was like not even a question. I was just like, nope, I identify as a sober person.
Yeah, totally.
Like
That's
I'm an
who I
alcoholic.
am.
Yeah.
No, but that's impressive. If I one of the things that scares me to not relapse is because I feel like if I did, I'd be like, fuck it.
Yeah.
And I would be out for years. I pray and hope that I would come back if I didn't die or, you know, something didn't happen to me. But like I fear that if I did relapse, it would take me a while to come back to the program.
Yeah.
So that's really impressive that you did
That's
that in
always
one
the
night.
fear, right?
That is the fear.
So I was really lucky that it was what it was. And it was just alcohol. I tried to get my hands on some drugs, but it didn't work out. Thank God. And you know, they were never delivered. And then I was able to like make sure my partner helped me like
That's
make sure
amazing.
they were never coming. So yeah, but it was only like a few hours. I feel really lucky.
That's so lucky.
Yeah, but it could have easily been not
Of
that.
course,
So,
literally.
yeah.
It's just like, and I guess this kind of goes back to resources that I forgot to mention is God, the universe. Like I had trouble connecting to God early on in my sobriety because like you know, being gay, it's like I was raised in very Christian, religious, you know, rules from my father. And, you know, he was a believer that if you're gay, it's a sin, you're going to hell. And that's that. So when I came out at 15, it was a huge deal. And, you know, it was a long journey we had through, but he's grown, I've grown so much. And we both have the same kind of vision and view of, you know, God and Jesus Christ and everything. So coming in, I was like, I pushed away from religion. I was like, when I came out as gay, I was like, I'm done with religion. And I leaned into the whole, like, you know, the stereotypical gay lifestyle of just going out, partying, having sex. Like that was like all I cared about. So when I got sober and they were like, you know, you need to, you know, believe in God, have a higher power. And I'm like, oh fuck. And I'm like, it was tough for me to connect higher power to God and then now to Jesus. I feel like I'm a chill Christian. I don't know how to phrase that, but I do have a connection to Jesus, God, and universe. I think it's all one, and I think it's connected to like everything, every religion that there is. But coming in, I was like, wait, I can't connect the two because God hates me, and I'm supposed to believe in this higher power that loves me, but how is that supposed to be the same? So it was tough to like get through that. And, you know, I had sponsors, you know, work with like, write what your higher power is, like who is God to you? And I was able to do that. And that helped bring in like, okay, I don't need to associate this religious, like God in the sky who hates me to what I believe God is. And so that really helped me. And because of that, I have this great relationship with my higher power where I do trust in the universe. I believe there's a path. I believe that there is, you know, good things to come. And I know there's tough shit to happen, but those are the times I lean on my universe and my God even more. And that's like a huge resource. That has totally helped me like lean into surrender. Cause I used to be like, how do people fucking surrender? Like, you know, when there's like the serenity prayer and I'm like, that sounds impossible. Like, how do you do that? And now it's like, yeah, I still have my like times where I'm like, oh, I want to control something, or oh, I wish this would happen. I still all the time think of like what I don't have, and but like what has what always brings it down and calms it is like I believe the universe has a plan, and everything that's supposed to happen is going to happen.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get what I need, not what I want, not what I think I want,
Yeah.
but like what I need and what
Right.
God wants
Big
from
difference,
me. Big
right?
difference.
What we want and what we
Oh my!
need.
If I got what I wanted from like a long time ago,
Yeah.
I would be like, if this was like, if I got what I wanted and I was on a podcast, it would be like a shit show. I'd be like, like my acting career has been wonderful, and just like drooling. So like, and now I'm like completely opposite. So like, it is what you need, not what you want.
Yeah.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Can we talk a little bit about what you do and what your passions are and like your writing?
Yeah.
Your acting.
Yeah. I don't know like where to start. I guess I was acting my whole life.
Yeah.
I started when I was a kid of doing theater. And I went to performing arts high school. Then I went to UCLA, all for acting and theater. So I kind of cemented that in my head that I was an actor only. And I tried to have a career in that for like, after college for years. But drinking and doing drugs doesn't really help that situation because I was either hungover at auditions, I was still drunk at auditions. When I was in a play, like I remember I was in this play and it was like there was like a couple weekends of shows, and there was one night that was going to be really important, and the night before I got wasted and I did shrooms and I was just like tripping balls, and like the next day, like it's like into the morning of the next day, I'm still tripping balls and stuff.
Yeah.
So then that night I have to perform, and I remember fumbling lines, and it was just like a shit show for me. I how it's bigger in your own head, but it was one of those things where it's like it shows me that like the addiction took over everything. It doesn't matter. My biggest dreams were my career and, finding a husband. But like because of my addiction, I was not getting any of that. I was losing it all. They say like I was choosing one thing over everything instead of everything over one thing, So that was my acting career. It was just like pretty much like in and out auditions, kind of going like doing commercials, music videos and shit like that. And then when COVID happened, I was sober. I don't think I could have done this if I wasn't sober, but I started writing and I was like, oh, I want to give like screenwriting a chance. Like I've always wanted to write something. So I started out, I wrote a pilot for a TV show that's based on my life, like my sobriety journey, but like, dramedy style. And it was actually kind of good. And I was like, wait. And my husband, I just started dating my husband at the time, and he's a screenwriter. So he's been doing it forever.
Okay.
So he kind of like helped me like lean into like, just give it a shot, do it, try it. Because I always thought I wasn't smart enough to write. I was like, oh, I can only act. Like that's like bad. Like I can only act, but I can't write. So like when I started writing, I was like, wait, I'm falling in love with this. And so then I continued writing, wrote like the like Sears Bible for that. I focused on that show for a little bit. And then I moved on to writing some feature films. And yeah, then I wrote some horror scripts, and that kind of opened doors to getting management for writing. And I never had a manager for acting. Like all these years of trying to be an actor, I never had a manager. I never got those things. But then in this short amount of time for writing, I got the manager. I got like opportunities opening up. So like I kind of in my head was like, that's the universe telling me, focus on this right now. I might go back to acting. Like the dream would be combining them both and like writing something I can act in. But right now it's been like, yeah, focus on the writing, because like a lot of doors are opening up for that. And I'm currently writing like a few projects that are hopefully gonna sell. But yeah, it's been really exciting. It's been really cool. I feel really proud of myself. And it was also crazy. So I always thought I was like thinking I was an actor only. And then when I started writing, I was like, why do I love this so fucking much? And then I was like, and I had a flashback of me as a kid. And I remember when I was a kid, all I would do is write stories.
Mm.
And I think there's this weird full circle connection of like, that was before I started acting. I was writing stories and I was writing scary movies, which is so funny because I loved scary movies since I was a kid. And I would write these stories and I would write so many of them. And then once I started acting, I stopped that.
Oh, wow.
And then then I just years later, I'm picking this back up. And it was kind of like, maybe that's like this weird connection of like my young child self and the universe knowing what I was going to do,
Wow, that's so
giving
cool.
that passion in me at that
Yeah.
young age. And going on this crazy ass journey to get to where I am now
Yeah.
and doing it as a career. So
Amazing.
it's kind of wild. The world is wild. The universe is crazy.
It really is, though.
It is, dude.
Yeah. So where can we find you and how can we support you? What are your links?
Well, really just Instagram.
Which is
RAJATOCK. I made it when Instagram first came out. Okay, I'll explain it. I thought you had to make like cool names like as your handles because it was like forever and had crazy names. So I made it Raja Talk because my initials are AHA. So then I made it and then instead of a talk. So I did Raja Talk. And it's been like that ever since. So if that doesn't make any sense, I get it. But you can find me Ryan Jackson, RAJATOCK. Yeah, that's it. For now, I work at my management company's Bellevue Productions. So love them, love my team. Yeah, I'll post if I sell anything. You'll see the post right away.
We'll keep an eye out.
Yeah, keep an eye out.
Last question. What does the idea of being a comeback kid mean to you, and in what ways are you a comeback kid?
Comeback kid to me, I feel like when I hear comeback kid, I think of like, I remember like in action movies where like the hero's like kind of getting beaten down by like the villain, the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, oh no, is he going to lose? This is it. He's dead. And he's like, it's like this end, this like, this sad, like defeat. But then they always come back up and they beat the villain. And I feel like that for me is what I see as a comeback kid is like, I've been beaten down many times in life with different things, but I always get back up and I always keep fighting. And I believe, at the end, it'll be a victory if I keep fighting. So it's just like kind of rooting for the underdog, like inside of me. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I can do it.
I love that. You're amazing. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me. It was so fun. Oh, I can't believe I popped my cherry.